Hello, my little ninjas. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Welcome to your 7 p.m. edition of Mox Talks. I see this very clearly. People, you see it differently. You go ahead and call. Okay. Otherwise, you're just talking. You have a chance to debate what's happening here. You can say, hey, I think you're wrong about this being the only choices. And I'd appreciate that kind of phone call because that's what I'm here to talk about. I don't think that I'm wrong. I think that basically everything about freedom has to do with your choice. And that's just the way I see it. I'm going to be right back. To have a bong hit. We're going to have a bong hit just a sec. The lights aren't on. Well, I mean, it's okay, but there's like this digitization. I gotta turn the lights on. Gonna make me crazy. Just a second. Just a second. What do you... You guys are so fucking impatient. Alright, I'm back. Lights are on. I feel much more comfortable now. So, as I was saying, welcome to your 7 p.m. edition of Mox Talks. I'm serious about this. I mean, if I'm wrong, if there's some other choice besides freedom of choice against the police state, I would really like to hear about it. Okay? Not some little, keyboard hero who's going to tell everybody what they're supposed to think and how Mox doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay? I want somebody with the balls to call and explain why freedom of choice isn't the only choice. Okay? Either you support freedom of choice or you don't. Explain to me why it's different than that. Meanwhile, I'm going to get ready to do a bong hit because I have the freedom of choice to do that. I could not do a bong hit. I could go, oh, I'm not going to smoke any bong hits with you tonight because that's what I choose to do. But the facts are, every night that I come out here, I choose to smoke bong hits with you because I am here to share. Whether it's a conversation, it's my opinion, it's a bong hit, it's a brownie. I'm here to share. Believe it or not, I'm not just another person behind a camera talking at you. I'm here to share this time, to share this space so that you can say the things that you need to say. Okay? Again, if I'm wrong about freedom of choice being your only real selection, if you support freedom, you have to support freedom of choice. Okay? Otherwise, what? You're the proverbial slippery slope. Okay? Oh, that choice of freedom is not acceptable. That choice of freedom is not acceptable. How are we going to figure this out? By supporting freedom of choice. You choose, okay? If you choose to hurt somebody else, then there's repercussions for doing that. Whether the somebody else's family comes after you or the police does, okay? If you choose to look, if you choose to have an abortion, that's between you and your doctor. It has nothing to do with the government. Okay? As where if your neighbor comes over and shoots you dead, then the government doesn't want your family going over there and shooting that person dead and it becoming this big old Hatfield against McCoy fucking, family rivalry where there's gunfire going back and forth across the street. As where you going to your doctor and your doctor telling you, you have alternatives to the vaccine. Whichever vaccine it might be, you have alternatives. Although doctors aren't allowed to say that, are they? And you know why? Because there's no fucking freedom of choice. Okay? You need to understand the importance of freedom of choice. Okay? Oh, that person can't choose to do that. Oh, well, then I guess you can't choose which religion you want to be. You can't choose which grocery store you want to go to. You can't choose what color you want to wear. You can't choose how many children you get to have, because here in China, you have to have babies. Only one. Then we'll abort all the other ones. But we want to have the one, which they just reversed that rule. So you can now have more than one baby in China. My point is that, do you want the government telling you what you can do as far as having babies, or do you want that to be a very personal life decision? Because if you want a fuck ton of babies running around, you know, how come you haven't adopted 2, 3, 4 of them already? Because there is a fuck ton of babies running around. They got no mamas and no papas. And all I hear you talking about, oh, we need more fucking motherless children running around. That makes so much sense to me. Makes so much sense to me. Plus, this whole fucking anti-abortion bullshit, which has nothing to do with you, unless of course you're planning on getting an abortion in the next few weeks. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike. How's your Tuesday?
It's all fucked up. How about yours?
Pretty much the same. It's all fucked up. I wanted to call early, based on this topic, before people start getting all emotional about God and stuff, you know. Fucking ideas that don't even make any sense except for in the minds of some people, and then they try to explain it to other people, and then if you don't fucking agree with them, they cut your head off.
Yeah, they don't really try to explain it so much as force you to assimilate or whatever it is, and convert, whatever.
Yeah, this is a horrible day. I mean, whatever. It is a day that was coming, right? I mean, everybody knew this was coming. And what I understand from that draft ruling, it was like 5-3 with one out, right? So even if the Chief Justice sides with the other justices or writes his own ruling, it's already fucking done. It's a done deal. The 5 conservative justices on the court, 3 of them appointed by Trump, 2 of them appointed by whatever, Bush the second or whatever, they have now basically are going to take women's rights to have an abortion away in Republican states. Basically, that's what it comes down to. So they're going to force poor, white, and black, but many, many poor, like Idaho, Utah, Nebraska, give me a fucking break, man. They're going to force many poor white women and many African American and many Latino women to bear children, even though they don't have the economic resources to do it. They're not in a cool situation with friendly, loving families. They're or they're in abusive or exploitive situations, or they just don't want to fucking have kids. It doesn't matter.
None of your fucking business.
No, it doesn't fucking matter. But the victims of this crime, the biggest fucking victims of this crime, are going to be women who live all in the South. And this is weird. This is a weird thing, Mike, because I try not to be, geographist, like, I live great, you suck. I'm not really into that at all. But this is a huge indictment of whatever the fuck is going on in the South. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas, South Carolina, North Carolina. You know what I'm fucking talking about. There's something fucking wrong with these people. You call it Jesus. I don't know what you fucking call it. I don't even care. There's something fucking wrong. And they've exerted so much pressure on our courts, and they've influenced the Republican Party in such a way that, people accuse it of being fascist. Of course they do. I mean, because there are these, elements that are pushing these really fucked up ideas, like forcing young girls to have children against their will. What the fuck? Fuck you.
I look at it. It just doesn't happen. When I say, you're like saying all these different conditions why someone might get an abortion. It's none of your fucking business, okay? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everyone.
No,
You want to fucking put your nose in where it doesn't belong. What is wrong with you? How is this any of your fucking business at all?
Couple things, Mike. It isn't anybody's fucking business. But a few observations, right? First of all, anybody born who's a millennial, born after like 1984, or is a Gen Xer, let's say born after 2000 or whatever, right? The last two generations, which is the largest group of people in America, have never lived in a world where abortion wasn't available to women, basically as they please. This is they've always lived in a world where people have access to abortion. And when Roe v. Wade was passed, there were something like 20 states in the United States that had free access to abortion, basically. And the only people who were put in these situations where they could not have an abortion were poor people, all right? Now, a few notes, like my mom had an appointment to have me aborted before I was born, Mike. That's a true story. And she changed her mind and decided to have me with the consent of her mom, right? So, and despite that, I definitely, in my life, have been partnered with somebody who chose not to have a child. And we had consent on that. Like, that person could have had a child if I had input in that decision making, which is logical if you're going to raise a fucking kid, right? And when I was in high school, Mike, I was 15 or 16 years old. My debate partner, who had been somebody I had known since I was 6 years old and was a good friend of mine, right? She was in 10th grade. She got pregnant, and her parents were Catholic and would not allow her to get an abortion. This was in 1984 or 1983. And they basically, as soon as she started to show or whatever, a month into it, pulled her out of her high school, all of her friends and her community, sent her to a boarding school in Chicago in an urban space in an apartment with a bunch of other girls who were also pregnant and Catholic, who were having their babies. And then after they had, and going through all kinds of weird fucking counseling through the Catholic Church. And then after they fucking have their baby, Mike, in a city, away from their home, they take their babies away from them and give them to people for adoption, right? And then they take the girl back from the boarding school and they put her in a different high school in her community. It was a magnet school for smart people because she was smart. But nevertheless, she didn't go to the same high school she had went to previously. I witnessed this when I was a kid, right? I mean, I've seen this from so many different angles, Mike. And the fact of the matter is that people have the right, especially, and I mean women, I'm really fucking specific. Women have the right to determine whether they want to bring life into this world or not. It's fucking their choice to make. Simple as that. As a man, you have input or whatnot, but ultimately you cannot take that right away from a person. That is fucking ridiculous. And people will commit suicide, they'll throw themselves downstairs, they'll do all kinds of crazy shit to not have babies if they don't want a baby. This is like the human animal we're talking about, Mike.
I have never wanted to have a baby. Okay, I don't see having a baby as something beautiful.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you there.
I don't know. I guess it's really good that some people want to have babies because otherwise, there would be problems. And I think it's really good that babies grow up with families that want to have babies, because if they grow up in families that didn't ever want to have babies because whether or not the abortion wasn't legal in their state, their parents made them get pregnant, or they just got pregnant on accident, and their husband or their boyfriend or whatever was like, oh, we have to have the baby, and they were confused because women have this maternal instinct and they're like, oh, this may be my last chance to have a baby, and then you have a baby and you didn't ever want the fucking baby. I mean,
Yeah.
but you were pushed that direction by all these external forces. So
Of course.
and so then you get angry that you have a baby, you don't like the baby, you neglect the baby, maybe even abuse the baby. And this is what I'm saying. You have to have people that want to have a baby. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing? It's just stupid.
It's not just stupid, Mike. It's sadistic.
Yeah.
It's fucking sadistic. And this comes back to this thing about this phrase, right to life. Well, I fucking believe that. I believe in living. Don't you like living? That's a really shitty way of phrasing what we're talking about here, by the way, right? Something that cannot exist without the woman's uterus and consent is not a fully determined, self-willed human being. It is attached to another person. It is part of a person. It is a person.
It is a fatty lump like anything other fatty lump that you would have removed. Right. That's what it is.
And also, Mike, women have for thousands of years been able to do what they need to do to determine whether they want to have children or not. And it's a misconception in our society that women did not have those choices and did not make those choices. That's part of our, well, we came here and we're Puritans and stuff. We got things down and we have science. No, women have always had these choices. Now, if we want to put women in jail for this or put young girls in danger of harming themselves, well, that's what these people are doing. They're punishing, and they're punishing their own. It isn't going to fucking matter here in Seattle or in California or in Massachusetts or in Illinois where I'm. It's not going to matter there, Mike.
Yeah.
But it is going to matter. It is going to matter in Texas and in Georgia and in Alabama and in Ohio and in Michigan. It's going to matter in those places, Mike, because the power of people's magical thinking is just off the fucking rail.
I can't believe how fucking redneck people are when it comes to this shit.
And they want to punish young girls, right?
Yeah.
So somebody says all right, I got pregnant. Well, I'm not going to fucking judge the lady, right? Get her to a place where she can have abortion if she so desires. Why am I impeding whatever her will is? That's ridiculous. And these same people who claim to be pro-life, they don't give a fuck about living human beings. Jesus H. Christ. They cut welfare in the 90s, claiming that poor people were welfare queens.
Yeah.
And all of these suburban fucking morons are walking around saying, yeah, people on welfare are driving Cadillacs. I saw it on NBC News. And that's their conception of what welfare is, which is government support for poor families for the most part, and people who are unemployed or for whatever purpose don't have some purpose in life. Instead of watching those people die on the street as homeless people in front of them and mocking them, right? They had welfare, public assistance. That went away.
Yeah.
And nobody like Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton or any of these fuckers, any of these politicians, none of them gave a fuck about those, and they still don't.
Yeah.
They step over them as they walk to their offices and say, what an inconvenience.
Yeah.
We need more jails, and we need, more employees to deal with this shit that I have to walk over. But fuck them. They don't care about people, and those are Democrats. Republicans are even worse. You know what I'm getting at? They don't give a fuck about people, Mike. But they want to force young girls to bring more people into this world so they have control over them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's statistic.
Yeah, I agree. And you're talking about homeless people, and there's so many other people that they don't give a fuck about, including the cannon fodder that they send off to war. They talk about all life being special or being precious, and then they send $33 billion worth of weapons to the Ukraine. What do you think those weapons are being used for? To protect people? You're fucking insane. They're not protecting anybody, and you know what? All they're doing is expanding the war. It's going to get worse and worse, and your children are going to wind up fighting it, possibly. And then we'll talk about how precious human life is again when we don't have any other option. Instead of feeding your fucking children the goddamn meat grinder, fucking stand up for fucking reality. Okay? Be consistent.
They are consistent, Mike. They represent Tantos, that Thantos, which means death. Like, they represent death culture. And it was epitomized today by that motherfucker, otherwise known as our president, in Alabama at Lockheed Martin, which is the #1 largest manufacturer of weapons in the fucking country. And he's on the tarmac. It's so appropriate that this Supreme Court story leaked over the weekend, so the very first opportunity they had to talk with this guy about it was at a military base or a fucking weapons installation where they make missiles to kill people, right?
Yeah.
And then at that place, the president is saying, well, what about this? He's like, well, it's important, but, we got shit and we'll work it out and all this crap, right? In the background, he's basically like, in the same press conference, he's advocating for these beautiful Javelin missiles, these beautiful weapons made by American workers that kill, that are so well designed. I mean, that's basically what he was saying. Right at the same time, he's talking about women not being able to control their reproductive fucking process, Women are going to be forced to have children, and we have this great fucking bomb today. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was an advertisement for what we actually are,
Yeah.
So he doesn't really care about abortion. And this is the thing that's going to really bum Democrats out, or at least anybody who was bamboozled into supporting the party, was, look, they always pull this trope out that abortion rights are on the table.
Yeah.
And they phrase it in the terms of, like, the Supreme Court is going to be fucked up. And they've done this for, 30 goddamn years, right?
Yeah.
And it's an important decision, and I am bummed out about what the fuck is happening. But they've thrown this out on the table, trying to scare people for 30 goddamn years. And they had the opportunity on multiple occasions in 2008, 2009, most recently in 2020. They had a chance to resolve this by passing a federal law with a House and Senate controlled by Democrats and a Democrat president that just says everyone in America has the right to an abortion. Doesn't matter whether you live in bumfuck Egypt, Oklahoma, or you live in fucking San Francisco. Who gives a fuck? You have the right to an abortion. And they could have done that many times in the past 30 years. Bill Clinton could have done that, and they didn't fucking do it, man. So fuck them.
They didn't do it. They didn't do it because it works for them politically. So when you go to vote, they're going, well, if you don't vote for us, they're going to end abortions, and that's what basically this leak is all about, the way I see it.
Yeah, it is. And it is a voter turnout strategy for the Democrats in November, and it's giving them an extra 3 months to get voters out.
Yeah.
Because the ruling isn't going to be until July. So what is it, May 1st or something? So they got an extra 6 to 8 weeks or so ahead of schedule to get people out on the streets, canvassing for Democrat candidates all across the United States. And they're already starting to do that right now. This is the big get out the vote push, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're not going to have a lot of support when the Democratic president asked a direct question about what Democrats are going to do about Roe v. Wade being overturned, and how are they going to, protect women's rights to abortion. He didn't really have an answer, Mike. He didn't really have a really direct answer. Fuck him, right?
Yeah.
So his constituents, anybody who cares about women being forced to have children against their will, anyone who feels strongly about that issue should be extremely disappointed in Joe Biden. And this is, I think, a great opportunity for a third party. And I don't mean that facetiously, because that's often something that comes out, oh, well, what about third party? But it's been this is like I said, every millennial, every Gen Xer who is alive today has lived in a time when women had the right to have an abortion. Women represent 50% of the voting bloc in the United States. Reproductive rights, and whether or not, you want to have a career, fuck you. You're 23 years old, ooh, cool, I just finished college, that was intense, I'm done with that. And then, whoa, hey, damn, what the fuck, I'm pregnant. all right, I'm going to throw my career away, even though that's really what I want to do, and everybody around me knows that's what I want to do. But I need to be a mom because that's what I need to do. It doesn't have to be that way. That's bullshit, Mike.
Look, you know how I am about freedom. And I'm a purist. I don't.
So I just thought it was ironic that the fucker was at a weapons plant and a Lockheed Martin plant when he was asked these questions, because it's just like the face of the United States, as far as I'm concerned. And I do think it was leaked to Politico. Politico is a Democrat magazine, a Democrat website. So clearly it's used for political purposes by the left. Obviously, it was going to be used by the left, right? Anyway, it's pretty disgusting. The whole thing is disgusting.
You know what? Anybody who's not standing up for freedom is pretty disgusting. It has nothing to do with you, okay? Do you want people saying that you can't do stuff that has nothing to do with them? Because that's what you're doing, okay? And I'm really tired of this. I'm really tired of this fucking bullshit, okay? There's like I said, I'm a purist when it comes to freedom, okay? I don't want people going across the street and shooting their neighbor. At the same time, I want anybody who wants to own a gun legally to do so. I'm other than these bullshit mag laws and stuff, magazine laws. Look, and the only reason I say legally is because that's the way that we know that it's above board. That's the way that we know that you're not using this for some nefarious purpose, okay? Otherwise, I just like people have guns, but it's out of control. But I don't want them shooting each other's neighbors. So that has something to do with the whole neighborhood. Your neighbor getting abortion has nothing to do with you. Okay?
It has to do with the welfare of your neighbor.
And the welfare of children coming into the world. Because once they come in, you don't give a fuck. You're not like, oh, we have to make sure these babies have homes and mommies. You don't give a fuck about that. So we just gotta force this woman to have an abortion and then just leave the child off to fend for it fucking self.
There's a whole industry of people who take unwanted babies and sell them. There's a whole industry involved with trafficking little babies and shit when women don't want to have babies.
Yeah.
So let's not forget that aspect of this as well.
Yeah.
But the Jesus thing is what the real core of this is at, right? That's whatever. Most of the people who are opposed to abortion, whether they're Protestants or they're Catholics, they have this real strong concept of they know what life is, and that all of that has been told to them by ministers and priests their whole fucking lives. All right, let's just be real. That is an influence here, and just like the mainstream media influences people in negative ways, the church definitely still has a lot of control over people in certain parts of the country, especially in the South. It's undeniable that most of those people believe that their neighbors should be forced to, she did it, so fuck her. She fucking fucked and she got pregnant. Fuck her. She's got to have a baby.
She's a fucking whore. She's a fucking whore. Who gives a damn about her?
I'm not gonna pay for that baby. Fuck, my taxes pay for her baby. Jesus Christ. Fuck her. She's on her own, like I am. I'm on my own. She's on her own. And if her and her baby don't make it, well, there's jobs in fucking Florida. She can move. I do care, though, about people. I love people.
Babies especially.
My fucking best friend. Fuck those people. They're morons, Mike. They're fucking morons.
Yeah, they can't be very intelligent, that's for sure. Hey, I need to take a bong hit, Chris.
Yeah. You have a good night, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for calling. It's always good to hear from you.
Bye.
Bye. And I do need to take a bong hit, so I thought that I would go ahead and take a bong hit. That being said, I want to have this discussion, okay? And I'm not just looking for people who agree with me. Remember Valerie called a couple weeks ago? I want those people to call. I want to understand why it is you think you can impose your ideas onto other people. You know, why it is that you have to sneak into person's health care. You have to be involved in other people's health care. It's like somebody forcing you to get a vaccine. Imagine how horrible that would be. Somebody forced you to get a vaccine. I have a video here. This military propaganda timed so perfectly. Think of the children. That's all I'm saying. Think of the children. It's clip number 2. I'm going to heat up the bong. Then we'll have a nice fat bong hit. Clip number 2. Clip number 2. Clip number 2. You know what? I'm going to do the clip about abortion. I hope you enjoy this. I truly do. I want to go heat up my tea. I really hope you enjoy this. When I come back in a few minutes, we'll have a big fat bong hit. Okay? That's something to look forward to. Be right back.
Women in almost half the country could see their access to abortion severely limited. In 13 of those states, women would lose access to abortion immediately and outright. Those Republican leaders who are trying to weaponize the use of the law against women, well, we say, how dare they? How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body? How dare they? How dare they try to stop her from determining her own future? How dare they try to deny women their rights and their freedoms? You know, 3 years ago, when I was a United States Senator, I asked a question. Can you think of any laws that give the government power to make decisions about the male body? And the response, you'll recall, was essentially, can't think of any. So when we look at the big picture, those who attack Roe have been clear. They want to ban abortion in every state. They want to bully anyone who seeks or provides reproductive health care. And they want to criminalize and punish women for making these decisions. At its core, Roe recognizes the fundamental right to privacy. Think about that for a moment. When the right to privacy is attacked, anyone in our country may face a future where the government can interfere with their personal decisions. Not just women, anyone. And it has never been more clear which party wants to expand our rights and which party wants to restrict them. It has never been more clear. It has never been more clear which party wants to lead us forward and which party wants to push us back. You know, some Republican leaders, they want to take us back to a time before Roe v. Wade, back to a time before Obergefell v. Hodges, back to a time before Griswold v. Connecticut. But we're not going back. We are not going back. Because at our core, the strength of our country is that we fight to move forward. You know, I've spent my entire career fighting for the health, safety, and well-being of women, with so many of you in this room. And now, once again, friends, we must link arms in this fight. I invite all people to join us. If you stand for freedom, for self-determination, for the right to privacy, if you stand for these principles, stand with us. Because you see, women's issues are America's issues. And democracies...
The Senate proceeds its legislative session, being a period of morning business.
All right, boys and girls. I was thinking, man, I gotta shut off that video. There's only so much. There's only so much these people can take. I have a bong hit ready to go. I'm going to do a nice big fat puff. I want to say again, she comes back to this political thing. That's what this is all about. Is the next election. Democrats are the only one that's going to protect you women. Woo! Good thing I heated my tea up. I need some tea. I love me some hot tea. All right, so where were we? We're talking about it being 4:20 somewhere in the world. Now, you know, this beach view, these two beach views up on the top right, I don't remember seeing these views before. They seem like new ones for the cameras. And again, as I've said many times, it looks like a lovely place. Doesn't it, Ukraine? I can't wait to hang out there and smoke a fatty. I think it'd be awesome. Back to abortions and killing people without, for the sole purpose of look, you support life, okay? That's good. How do you feel about the war in Iraq, where 1 million innocent Iraqis were murdered in your name, with your tax dollars, completely based on lies that were created in the Pentagon, in the White House, lies fabricated and then passed on to the media. The media just mouthpieced all the lies, and bam, zoom, 1 million innocent Iraqis dead in your name, with your tax dollars, and something there will be giant repercussions from. Okay? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Imagine all the little Iraqis growing up in refugee camps. I imagine they can't wait to come to the United States, the land of plenty. Huh? At least I know some of them are really looking forward to it. And does anybody here, any civilians, think about that at all? Okay? Because you talk about how much you love life, how important life is. As Chris was saying, then they fall to the side and no one's there to pick them up. You know? I talk about this all the time. I talk about empathy. If you had empathy and this person was getting an abortion, one of the hardest choices they ever have to make in their entire life, they're having an abortion, and then you want to pile on your personal bullshit. Like it's not hard enough for them to start with. Oh, good. Hello, caller.
Hey, Max.
What's up, G?
All right. Do you know why I'm against abortion?
No.
Oh, I thought you wanted to hear the other side.
Talk slower.
I thought you want to hear the other side.
I did. You asked me if I know why you're against abortions, and I said no.
Okay, let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because it's immoral and it's murder.
Okay, lots of people think that anal sex is immoral too. Do you want someone telling you whether or not you can fuck somebody in the ass?
That's actually immoral, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah, that's immoral.
No, it's okay. How about oral? Why is it immoral?
Because it goes against God's scriptures.
God's scripture is talking about sodomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you understand that oral sex is sodomy?
Yeah, that's sodomy as well. That should be immoral as well.
So you think that oral sex should be considered an evil sin?
Yes.
Or immoral. Oral is immoral. Geez, I gotta get a t-shirt made up like that. Craig, get on it. Oral is immoral. Go ahead.
That's actually a good one, though. That's actually a good one. No, for real. I should post that on like posters around Capitol Hill during Pride Month.
Hey, I'm having t-shirts up on SD tomorrow, guys. Go ahead.
It's funny though. Let me.
I'm a very funny guy, man. In case you haven't noticed
I
it.
know. But you know what else? What else is immoral? Though we should definitely make signs and plaster all over Capitol Hill that says, "Drag queen is for women as blackface is for black men."
Look, and here's the thing about freedom of speech and freedom of choice. I absolutely, if you think that that's what should be done, Manny, I really and truly hope that you do it. Okay, because you have the right to do it, and you know what the problem is that if we don't exercise our rights, we're going to lose them. Okay, that being said, I don't think you would want somebody taking away your right to choose which church you worship in.
Well, and I want people to actually murder children, not because that's it's a little murder. Dude, have you actually read the news and the new laws in some of the states about abortion, though? I'm talking about the pro-abortion states. We're talking about like they can actually abort the children right after conception. Quite literally, like a woman can have a healthy baby and ready to actually pick him out of her vagina, and they can actually kill the baby though. That's actually fucked up, quite frankly though. Same thing with babies that are like 6-7 months though, like make them abortions, or even viable children that are like 3 months old. That's actually more than months, and that I'm not joking around or not telling you this one though. That's actually
Look. Okay, look. You try to tell me how smoking cannabis is immoral. It says right in the beginning of the Bible all about smoking cannabis. You're not consistent on this Bible thing. So, okay. And number two, I look. It's none of your business, Manny. Again, you don't want people telling you what church you can do. You don't want people. Fine, it's immoral. You have the right to project your judgment on whoever you choose. I'm sure God is so happy that you do that, Manny. But you should have.
I actually appreciate that though, because that's actually that was about to say though that I can say whatever the fuck I want. But at the very end, somebody's going to actually tell the fuck they want about me, though. And nobody's actually going to... we all have the right to judge other people, though. It's just like, we don't want to judge other people. If you ask personally to me, though, I think abortion is one of the most selfish decisions a woman can take, believe it or not.
Okay, and that's coming from the word of a Christian, very religious Christian person male. You know? I mean, it's like, again, this is this, like... males forcing women to do shit they don't want to do. Okay?
It's just on my own eyes, though. I would consider that person one of the most selfish, horrible person out there, though. And I would not like to associate with that person, though.
Okay, well, look, you don't have to associate with anybody you don't want to associate. This is the same thing that I keep telling you. You don't want to watch this person on YouTube. You go find someone else to associate with. You don't want people saying the N-word every other tweet on Twitter. Then block those people. And as far as you know, they don't fucking exist. Okay? But don't infringe on my freedoms. Fuck!
I am not appreciating your freedom, Mox. I'm just expressing my opinion. And that's my opinion. My opinion is just a very selfish decision of what I can take.
Okay.
If they do it.
Good. Hey, Manny, you know what? I really appreciate your opinion, too. And I hope you share it with us all the time. I'm not really yelling at you, Manny. Just this whole thought that people should be allowed to intervene in this incredibly personal choice. You know, and it's men again and again and again making these laws, talking about how it's immoral. You know, it's not a matter of women standing up and talking about what a horrible, horrific thing it is that you have to make this choice. And then, you know, it is almost every time done because they believe they can't take care of a child properly. Okay? So, in my opinion, that's being very compassionate.
Again, Mox, that's your opinion. Mine is condemned.
I know yours is given to you by the Bible. I got it.
All right, Mox. Just want to say hi.
Hey, man, it's always, like I said, it's always good to hear from you. I really appreciate you calling, and I look forward to talking to you soon, okay? I was surprised. I was like, shit, man, he's not the first caller. I was really surprised.
Oh, because I was just working late.
Yeah, it's all good. I look forward to talking to you soon.
All right, talk to you later, Mox.
See ya. And again, I'm not here to judge you. I'm just having a debate, okay? He says these things, and when I respond, I'm responding to him, but really it's more about this is what my opinion is, and anybody, you know, who somehow thinks that abortions are good need to understand our abortions are bad, need to understand that a lot of people would look at religion and think that religion is bad. And we need to end religion. I think that's a really good idea. Because it doesn't really add anything. How about war is bad? How about we really care about people and war is bad, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make war profiteering illegal, which is what Tomorrow Night Show is all about. War profiteers need to go to prison. That's the title of Tomorrow Night Show. And the reason that war profiteers need to go to prison, we'll talk about that tomorrow. That being said, you know, I mean, you can see the immorality of war profiteers. It's obvious the immorality there. And it just goes on. Nobody gives a fuck. Oh my God, women having an abortion. There's people murdering other people in droves, in mass graves, for the simple reason of they can make lots and lots of money. And abortions are bad. But murdering so many people for profit, you know, I know we're going to hear about how much money abortion clinics make. I would love to hear about that. It doesn't compare to the military-industrial complex, which starts wars everywhere and murders innocent people. Okay? You care about innocent people. This is what I've always said. You care about innocent people being murdered, then let's care about the ones that are alive first, and then we'll move on to the ones that may or may not be alive. Okay? Doesn't that make sense? We care for the people that are here already instead of the ones that may or may not come here. Right? Because the ones that are here shouldn't be used as cannon fodder. The ones that are here shouldn't be in prison for life for really stupid shit when murderers get out, you know, in much less time. I want I want freedom. I want us to focus on what's really, really matters in your neighborhood, in your state, in your world, and somehow in your home. In your home, most of all in your home. And somehow I cannot understand that what's going on in this person's home a mile away has anything to do with what's going on in your home. And I want people to fight for every right you have, including the right to protest abortion. I want people to fight for that. I just want those people to have empathy for the women who have to go through it. And really understand that the choice that they're making is not freedom. It's against freedom. It's anti-freedom. It's you, again, sticking your nose into these people's home that's a mile away from your house and telling them what they have to do in their lives. Has nothing to do with you, will never affect your home in any way, unless of course they have a child. Never affect your home in any way. But you need to be in their business. Why would you need to be in their business about something that's never for 1 second gonna affect your home, your family, in any fucking way? Why? Why would you have to stick your nose into that? You know? Why, you know, I look at, I love freedom. Again, I'm kind of a purist when it comes to this stuff. I when it comes to the Twitter and oh my God, the freedom of speech, we're so afraid. It's so simple. You don't want to look at these people's tweets? Don't look at these people's tweets. Block those people or just ignore them. Because when you say that speech is unacceptable, as YouTube has, as Twitter has, as Facebook has, what happens is you generate attention for it, which wouldn't be there, but it works for the people that are rich to generate this attention. This is again dividing the people. It's very divisive among the people. Instead of people just going, instead of the powers that be at Facebook, Twitter, whatever, just going, all right, this is about freedom. Okay, I'm not talking about snuff flicks. I'm not talking about snuff flicks. Okay? I'm not talking about people bleeding out or fucking taking Drano and fucking, I'm dying. I'm not talking about that. Okay? I'm talking about typing. Talking about typing. If you want something to say it. Don't maybe, oh, that link's not allowed. Okay, that link's not allowed. We're not going to do links. We're not going to do videos. Okay? And if you do something that's, you know, illegal, because there are things that should be illegal, not speech, okay? A video of, you know, again, this is that slippery slope thing, so I don't want to tell you what, again, but whether it should be illegal or not, you don't want sharing snuff flicks. And I'm sorry if I'm not being consistent. I'm picking and choosing. But I'm not sorry, because we don't want people going, again, and murdering someone or, you know, committing suicide in order to become some kind of a star. That's not the reason people make the personal choice of abortion. Okay? They don't do that to become some kind of a troll online that everybody's looking at. That's the last thing they want. They don't want people looking at them. This is a horrible, horrible personal choice that they feel they have to make. So, you know, let's put it this way, okay? 2-3 years ago, YouTube kicked everybody off that was growing cannabis. Everybody on YouTube that was growing cannabis, they kicked off saying that it was some kind of a prurient thing or something, and they weren't putting disclaimers on being for people 21 and older. And this is after Canada legalized, lots of states legalized. They decided it was unacceptable, and I did a video, right, about growing flowers and how YouTube is censoring growing flowers. And it's incredibly, we have to stop the censorship, okay? Because, and I've always said this, that if you don't want to hang out, if you don't want to know, if you don't want to associate with people who might use the N-word, then you don't want censorship, because you want to know that that person would openly use that word, right? My dad, let's leave him out of it. But again, if you don't want that, then you don't want a filter in between. Okay, so you want to know who these people are. You don't want censorship of that. And again, that's how you, let's say that you were in the same bar with them, and everybody's using this word, and you're like, oh man, I don't ever want to go there again. It's the same way on Twitter, right? If someone's using that word, then you go, I don't ever want to come here and listen to this person again. And you block that. You don't go back there. Because that word is offensive to you, okay? This person, what they're talking about is offensive to you. Let me just put it really, really simple. What this person is talking about, I have zero interest in because of this or because of that. I don't listen to anyone. Craig has been listening to Russell Brand, and I actually really like what Russell Brand is saying. I think he's a deep, spiritually oriented human being, and I'm glad to see him doing what he's doing. That being said, I'm not looking out opinion. I'm not looking out for opinions. I'm not looking out to try and understand anything. If I like what you're saying, that's great. I'm going to listen. If I don't like what you're saying, why would I spend any time standing there looking at a video screen, reading your tweets, whatever it is? If I don't like what you're saying, what you're doing, why would I spend any time doing that? It's confusing to me. It's as if, oh, this person is so fucked up, I have to look at all their videos. Because it just irritates the shit out of me how fucked up this person is. I don't know. I don't really surf at all. I just don't surf. I'm just not interested in the information that comes out, of any kind of group think. I like to have a discussion. As you can tell, that's why the telephone number is up there on the screen. I want to have a discussion. That being said, in very few instances are you going to change my opinion. I'm very open-minded, very open-minded. I also am somewhat a purist when it comes to freedom of speech, pretty much. So, and if you think otherwise, then I'd love to hear from you, because I'll be happy to talk to you about myself and freedom of speech, and where I've been coming from for a long, long time. See there again, right there is that beach view. Where the fuck is it? Is that it? What the hell, man? All right, so that beach view is now in the upper left-hand corner, and I that looks like a beach in Hawaii or something with that like little shack there and everything. It looks so awesome. I love it. Alright, so if we're not going to talk about abortion, how about UFOs? You want to talk about, I have a video about UFOs and the Pentagon and how the UFOs are coming from Russia. All the UFOs are coming from Russia. You've seen the video. You know what I'm talking about. I'll play that video in a minute. Military support, Camilla Harris. Oh, right. So, Camilla Harris is just almost impossible. Like, every word she says is it's fingernails on a chalkboard, as they say, only like 1,000 times worse, right? So I'm glad we got that video out of the way. Thank goodness. I have a UFO video, and then I have the military support video. Now, the military support video I think is timely because, again, I see it as a just an unadulterated piece of military propaganda. Is somehow about the creation of this support group organization, right? And it's about, they're talking about high schoolers, seniors who join the military as opposed to going to college, and how the people who go to college get all this praise, right? Oh, you're doing the right thing. You're giving back to your country, you know. As where people who go to college, they're like, oh, I'm so proud of you, and the sky's the limit. So that's what this video is about, and I find it really fascinating, timely, however you want to put it, because it's as if it's the patriotic thing to send your kids off to war. That's what I'm hearing. It's the patriotic thing to put your children into harm's way to protect our country. The homeland. I keep hearing this word used when we're talking about Russia and spying on people and disinformation. I keep hearing this word, the homeland phrase, I guess that is. But the word homeland bothers me. It seems like a very, war kind of thing to say. So, but I'm going to play this video about military support, high school kids going into the military, not being treated as if they're the patriots that they are. I'll be right back.
Millions of high school students are graduating this year, but only a small fraction will sign up to serve our country. Those students may not get the same recognition as seniors heading off to college. Angela Brown explains how one organization is changing that.
Enlisting in the Air Force, an easy decision for Trent Luck.
Both of my brothers they went to the Air Force and they kind of made careers out of it. And seeing how much love and what they got out of it, it made me want to kind of follow their footsteps.
But qualifying for the military took sacrifice.
I had to drop 40 pounds to get to where I'm at now to be able to enlist. So I kind of put my head to it, and it's what I wanted. So I worked hard for what I wanted, and in the end, I got it.
Hard work being honored next week.
As a mom, my third son going into the military, I saw that. I saw so much excitement for kids choosing colleges, but very little excitement for kids choosing to serve this country.
Dr. Ken Hartman launched Our Community Salutes in 2009 after seeing seniors who enlist not get the same recognition as college-bound students.
For the 1%, actually less than 1% of the kids who are going off and putting their country before themselves, there was very little.
This year, nearly 40 ceremonies honoring seniors who enlisted across the country. This video capturing the magic of previous years.
They put their lives on the line to preserve our American dream.
But you can show your support without attending.
Go to our website and sign the virtual thank you card. Our goal is to get 1 million Americans to sign that card by the 4th of July.
This year, the second ceremony for the Luck family. Trinstad, full of pride.
Growing young boys to be actually young, productive men in society and giving back.
Hillary now preparing to send off her third son.
I'm a Christian, so I believe that my sons are covered wherever they go.
Trent's excitement evident, his face lighting up, talking about serving.
It means a lot to me, just to symbolize what it means to be a U.S. Airman.
Trent is going to be a member of the Honor Guard in the Air Force, leaving August 23rd. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
All right, there's a little piece about how much we care about our children, right? We care so much about our children. We don't give them enough respect. That's one thing that I have never had a problem with. People not giving me enough respect. I don't really give a fuck. So, it doesn't matter. It is not important. Look at me, okay? Do I look like I give a fuck? Okay? I could care less. But I do love me some tea. All right, so where were we? What were we talking about? We were talking about abortions on demand, paid for by the government. Everyone's entitled to 3 abortions a year. See, that's, we should have a single payer health care, and abortions on demand. That's what we really need. Think about all the abortions that aren't being had because of stupid laws and people not being able to afford it. If we just had, government provided on-demand abortions, then there wouldn't be so many unwanted children in the world. Because right now, as far as I can tell, and you know why they want to make abortions illegal, besides it being this incredibly political move, they want to make them illegal because it's divisive and they're trying to... The way I see it, honestly, is that the Democrats were looking so severely bad in the 2022 election that the powers that be were very nervous because if the Congress becomes too one-sided, they could make anything happen. And it may even go against something that, the powers that be want. So, which is highly unlikely, but it would be possible. So it makes them very nervous. So they need to bring the Democrats back into being able to get at least a few candidates into Congress in this next election, which this has been their best. This is absolutely positively their best and only shot at winning anything in the 22 election. Okay, this is their only shot. Now they can actually stand up and look at all the women and say, look what they're doing to us, right? Look what they've done. They're going to take away our most basic reproductive rights. So I see this as nothing but really a massive political play. Because, again, the Democrats have zero hope at all, and this isn't something new on the Republican side. The Republicans have been saying this forever. We'll end abortion in our time. They've been saying that forever. Again, they're the only ones that stand up for freedom, though, and are anti-war. Wait, no, the Democrats are who's the anti-war ones? Democrats were going to fail horribly in the 2022 election, which would be very dangerous for the powers that be, because then they're all solidly controlled by one group, and that group might change their affiliation, let's say. So, but what I'm trying to say about the election and the Republicans is that all of the voters already know that they're anti-abortion. And now what we found is that they're not going to come out in these droves because, we got the abortion thing passed. But the other side is going to go, we can't allow that. And I mean, they're just going to come out. As where the 2022 election looked like that is a landslide. These people are fools. How could we ever... Joe Biden, are you kidding me? 4-time loser Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And this, this is what doesn't make sense to me, right? Is that Joe Biden was Barack Obama's vice president. And again, as I was talking about Joe Biden taking Kamala Harris as his vice president, it makes no sense that Obama would have taken Joe Biden as his vice president. Again, because you get a candidate that's going to bring you the most votes. And Joe Biden is adult. A doddering old dolt. When I say adult, it's hard to understand what I'm saying. A doddering old dolt. And he's been one for fucking ever, okay? And, and he's been racist, okay? Kamala Harris called him racist in the 2020 debates, right? So if she's calling him racist, then Obama must have had those same feelings and understandings why someone would feel that way. And you'd think the first black president would probably want to appeal to, and he picks Joe Biden. Doesn't make sense. Joe Biden picks Kamala Harris. Doesn't make sense. Of course, I really think Donald Trump picking Mike Pence makes no sense either. I mean, Donald Trump should have picked like Jesse Ventura or Ron Paul. Oh my God. If Donald Trump picked Ron Paul, then we'd really understand that what kind of person Donald Trump is. Instead, he picks this establishment piece of shit. Oh my God, Mike Pence is as fucking bad as it gets. But I digress. You know what? If people want to commit suicide, let them commit suicide. It's best done in a cleaner way. So if they set up some kind of a, place where people can go, I think that that's fine. I think that in the movie Soylent Green, they had something like that. I think they did it mostly for elderly people, but it seems like in the movie Soylent Green, there was I don't know, have they remade that movie? And there was a theater, right, that they would take people and they'd show them this lovely sunset and the birds would be chirping and they'd give them whatever serum, and they'd drift off. I don't want nobody giving me a serum. I can tell you that right now. I'm not looking forward to sticking around for a long time, but nobody's giving me no fucking serum. I'm going to be fully aware when I go. That being said, where were we? Oh, suicide stuff. Suicide. Again, this is this freedom thing where if you don't want to go through this turmoil, which is life, which I don't recommend suicide. And spiritually, the way that I understand suicide is that you pretty much get dumped right back in the same spot because karmically there's these things that you need to experience in order to move to the next level, and what you did was jump out of line from experiencing those things, which may actually put you a couple steps back in line, but hopefully you'll get through it one of these days. But I'm not here to tell you that you're trapped in this awful situation and you can't, decide what your ticket out of that situation is. The thing is that if we're going to be doing, sponsored suicides or whatever, government, legal suiciding in a legal suicide room, that the person should probably get a considerable amount of counseling first, just to make sure that they know that there's help if they want to stay, that we can talk this out and maybe we can find another way, as opposed to yeah, I get it, if I didn't have all these commitments I'd do the same damn thing. Which I think that people that probably want to commit suicide feel terribly, terribly lonely. I know, I used to think about suicide like every day. way back when. I think it was probably mostly because I don't know why exactly. I found it very entertaining. All the different ways you can make it happen. But I also found it to be somewhat selfish, and again, something that doesn't really make sense karmically. So, but I used to think about it all the time. I used to think about it and think and laugh and laugh. It's funny because it's true. So, where were we? Hey, MC, it's always good to see you, bruh. Alright, so, as I was saying, blah, 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 blah. Abortion, abortion, blah, 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 blah. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Abortion, freedom, abortion. Shall I play another video? Or, you see the number? You can see the telephone number on the screen. I see it on the screen right there. 805-669-6397. 805 669-6397, 805 Mox News. I'm going to play another video about UFOs because I like videos about UFOs. I might even post this one later on the page. But I thought I'd share it with you first because I like videos of UFOs and I like you guys. So as a thank you for showing up at my little show, I'm going to play this video about UFOs, and I'll be right back, and we'll have another bong hit. And if there's no callers, I will thank you very much for tuning in and see what we're going to do now.
For some reason, that video never gets old. It's been years, and the government still won't tell us the truth about this video. It's a Navy fighter jet that spotted a UFO, and it's not us saying that the government won't tell us the truth. Members of Congress want answers. They want more from a Pentagon refusing to say much about those who have visited us in these videos. This map shows 6 separate incidents of unidentified and unknown flying objects detected by the U.S. military dating all the way back to 2004. A number of the UFOs were tracked or seen by multiple ships and or radar, and as you saw, captured on video. Congressman Tim Burchett, Republican of Tennessee, who's passionate about this issue, joins us now. Big picture, does the Pentagon know more than they're saying?
100%. 100%. And Leland, you had George Will on earlier. He said it's in our country's DNA not to trust the government. And this is another example why. These are Navy pilots. These are the top pilots in the world. And they didn't leak it, but somebody else leaked it. And for the longest time, they said it didn't exist. And now that they've come forward with these tapes, there's so many of them out there that show, they're flying into the water, under the water, in the air, like this, what we're seeing right now on the screen. There's just so much out there, and we need to start addressing it, because if these, whatever they are, have control of the air like that, it's a national defense issue for us, and so that's probably a meteor right there, but it's still pretty compelling. Somebody needs to start answering questions.
You think about this. There's three answers here, right, of all this stuff, or maybe multiple answers. But for each object, there's one of 3 answers. Either A, it's a U.S. government project that's top secret, and we don't want anyone to know about it, and they're testing it out on our own military. 2, it's a foreign military that's testing their newest and latest technology on our military. Or 3, it is something from out of this world. Which one of those 3 is most plausible?
To me, it's the third. If it was ours, we could end all conflicts, because we would have the strongest air power ever. 2, if it was the Russians or the Chinese, I mean, honestly, Putin, he would land one of those things on the White House lawn and ride a unicorn out and wrestle Joe Biden. So the reality is it's 3. I mean, there's historical references to this. If you read your Bible, first chapter of Ezekiel pretty much describes a UFO landing. And historically, we've seen it the Dark Ages through paintings. There's hieroglyphics on walls and caves. There's all kinds of things.
Okay, so play this out for me though. If it is from out of this world, why don't they land on the south lawn of the White House and walk out and introduce themselves? They probably even wouldn't have to dress up like a unicorn. They look like unicorns.
Well, why would they? I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I honestly don't. If Billy Graham, I think, was quoted as saying, if you think that that we're the best that God can do, then you greatly underestimate God, because there's, infinity is a long way out there.
Yeah.
If you look at the stars, and you're looking at stars, literally, just to put it in perspective, stars we see now, the light we see, left that celestial being before the time of Christ, and some of them are not even in existence anymore. But we're seeing that light. So you're talking the vastness of space.
You're an expert on this, so I understand your skepticism of what the government is telling us, and you're right. Throughout time, the skepticism of the government has proved America well. They're not moving fast enough, not doing enough, not sharing enough. Marco Rubio.
Correct.
Bipartisan agreement. The DOD needs to take this issue much more seriously and get it in motion. That's from Senator Gillibrand. Is it that they're not moving fast enough, or that they're not declassifying things fast enough? Because those seem like two different issues.
Well, they don't want to. They don't. I don't trust the government.
Why wouldn't they? Why? Well, I'm confused. This is about both administrations from both parties. I don't get it.
I think there's an arrogance in government at that level that we cannot handle what's going on out there, and I just think it's a bogus cover up. It doesn't fit, and it's about power and it's about control. Imagine if if we decided that there was something out there like you're seeing right there that comes from another galaxy or what have you. Immediately our focus would stop being on fighting each other, but looking at this. And I think it puts a lot of people out of business. The military-industrial complex is real, and we need to address it.
If I'm the military-industrial complex, I would love nothing more than for UFOs to be real, because now I've got a whole new business fighting UFOs, don't I?
Well, you've got to sell the American public on it, but you've also, it does away with any of our conflicts overseas or anything else. It unifies the world. I just don't think they're in the business. I think we're giving them too much credit, and they're arrogant. And we're asking the Pentagon to investigate something that they covered up. My daddy he was an old educator, and he was a dean at University of Tennessee. And he said, we always bring in and pay the people to fix the problem that created the problem. So now we're sending more money to the Pentagon to investigate something that they've been keeping a lid on for decades.
So how do we figure out the truth, Congressman?
We take the shackles off. We put pressure on the Pentagon and funding and everything else, and say, enough is enough. Bring forth what you got and let the American public decide. I trust the American public. I don't.
So you want them to just release everything and then
release it all?
What's really the chance of it happening?
I'd say 0 to none, because it's an arrogant bunch of people that run this world and run this country. The ones that are always in power, regardless of who's in the White House, the Pentagon. That it's not a tinfoil hat thing anymore. I mean, you've got Navy pilots saying, "Look at this," and they're describing something that is that has been described for decades, since Roswell, New Mexico, and to the Russians, the Chinese. We have information that they have seen these very same things, and they are investigating them just like we are. And so it's at a little higher level than I believe we're being told. The government is part of the cover up, and they're not going to disclose it to us because they don't trust us with having enough sense to diagnose it. It's very frustrating.
And fascinating, too. Congressman, I don't think I have ever had a more honest interview on any topic with a member before this one. This is wonderful. As this goes on, make sure you come back and talk to us about it, all right, and what you find and in the ins and outs, all right?
Well, I'd love to tell you what I already know right now, Leland, but I can't. Well, but hopefully at some point I can.
We'll read between the lines till then. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Coming up.
Did you catch that? There's nothing the military-industrial complex would like more than an enemy in space. It's what they want. They want more and more enemies. This is the problem with war profiteers and why they must all go to prison, because they very much look forward to the next terrorist attack on the homeland. Ready? I'm gonna do that wrong hit with you. That was my last video. You better call now. That was nice. All right, like I said, I'm out of videos. If you want to call, the numbers are on the screen. 805-669-6397. Again, I love freedom, and I hate people trying to limit that freedom. I think that people know, that what is. See, once again, before we go, if what people are doing over in this house a mile from your house will never ever ever affect you in any way, if that's what, why would you want the people a mile away from your house talking about what you can and can't do in your home? I know for a fact that you wouldn't. So and again, this lots of people will say because of this religious reasons, it's wrong, it's a sin, it's an abomination, or whatever the hell it is they say. I don't know, what the hell did Manny say? Regardless, you're imposing your religious ideals onto other people. Okay, and I don't understand why you would want that, unless, of course, if you're Christian, you would want Muslims imposing their views onto your life, onto your religion, onto, how you take care of your family, or Christians or Jews or Buddhists or Muslims or any other, wanting to impose their own thoughts and feelings onto your religion, onto your home, onto how you live your life. I'm pretty sure that you would have a problem with that. So I don't understand why people think that somehow they should be allowed to do that. And I see so much of this. I see so much judgmental stuff going on. So many, again, no one's forcing you to read a tweet or to watch a video. Okay? You block that person and you'll not even know that they exist in the world. So why would it be important to you whether or not that person exists? And if it is important to you, why did you block them? And, if you actually want to know what's going on in the world, it's not so much that you don't want to block this person or block that person, but you want sources that you don't agree with also, so that you can have a wider perspective to choose from, to understand what's happening. Just like how they took RT off of YouTube, right? They have censored RT off of YouTube because it's an alternative viewpoint from what they want you to hear. And in my opinion, I don't see how this could be dangerous to you or anyone else to be able to listen to the news. Okay? This is censorship. I've watched RT News for years and years. They had it on a cable, and for some reason they had to remove it. My guess is it was way more popular than they expected, and they were reporting things way too truthfully about the Iraq War, about crimes against humanity committed by the United States, about the Pentagon, reporting it to people, not taking the information and sending it off to Russia and Moscow. They're sharing the truth, and that can't be allowed. And the empire of lies, kingdom of lies, I think Ron Paul used to say the kingdom of lies, the truth cannot exist in the kingdom of lies, something like that. I don't remember. All right, so I have given you, there goes a bus. That's the tour bus. I have given you time to call. I have thanked you. I have shared bong hits with you, which is always my pleasure. And I guess I've said my piece. I was really hoping that you had more to say. And one of these days, I think maybe you will. I think, maybe. Maybe. Until then, we do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means we'll be back tomorrow, same Mox time, same Mox channel. Tomorrow will be May the 4th, and it will be, the show will be, no. Hello, caller.
Greetings. How are you doing, Mox?
I am fired up.
Why are you fired up?
How else is there to be?
Oh, fired up as in, oh, yeah, well, I thought you were fired up as in mad.
I'm a raging fire all day long, man. You have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, man, calm down. Take a hit of the bong and you might not be raging so much.
Oh, that's a good idea. I should have a hit off the bong one of these days.
Yes, sir. Well, while I have you on the subject, I've been reading while I have you on the phone, I've been reading the chat, and and I've heard a few things that you've said, and I just kind of want to ask you your opinion. When you talk about people, what people do in their house, and it's nobody else's business, does that include everything? Does it include, it's none of your business if I choose to beat my wife?
I don't think that physical violence, I don't think that that's, you're a violent person who needs to have some kind of counseling because you're taking out, your problems on somebody who doesn't deserve it. So
you'll intervene in that aspect, but there's other
I think that if the person is seeking help and we're being told that she's being abused, then yes, I think that people should intervene. Okay? If she's not seeking help, I think it would be pretty much impossible to intervene.
Okay, when is it wrong to intervene or worry about what other people do in their house? So there's a time when it's right.
When they start having target practice in their backyard and their fucking 357 shells and their 9mm are going through your backyard where your children play, that's probably something to be concerned about.
Right, but if anything doesn't affect anybody else inside their house, then they shouldn't intervene or worry about it, right?
If it's not affecting your household, generally speaking, I have trouble, understanding why it is that you would want to put your nose into their household.
Correct. So why are you worried about if I'm whipping on a wife or whatever, or murdering people in my house?
Again, I didn't say that I was. I didn't say that I was concerned about that. If your wife is concerned and she's asking for help, then me as a loving, kind neighbor would do my best to give her help. Hopefully the entire neighborhood would support her, because that's what...
respectable. I like that answer.
Yeah. Otherwise, again, if she doesn't come and ask for help, it would be almost impossible to intervene. She's not going to leave. She's going to stay there. Even if the cops show up and they say, okay, we're going to take you to a safe place, she'd be like, no. You know, because she's not asking for help. Get the fuck away, you know. A lot of them, anyways, would be like that. For a number of different reasons.
I like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it right.
No, what I'm saying is, doesn't make it right. What I'm saying is that it would be almost impossible to intervene. You're not talking about intervene unless this person asks for help. That's what I'm telling you, is that if they didn't ask for help, then I can't knock down your door and say, what the fuck, you know?
I think we should be able to. I mean, if it's out there and someone's murdering people in their house, whether it's legal or not, I'm kicking their door down and we'll stop that person from murdering an innocent person. I think that's the right thing to do, regardless of if I'm breaking the law or not. I don't know. It just seems kind of like a... It's a gray area when you were talking about not worrying about what people are doing in their house. I mean, there are certain things that we should worry about, correct?
Look, if you're worried about people cooking meth next door, then I agree. I think we should actually come to a consensus that that's probably not healthy for us, and we should just legalize meth, and you'll be able to buy it down at the party store. It'll be very good meth, and you won't want to buy it anywhere else, and that will make it so that none of our neighborhoods are polluted by chemicals like that any longer.
Okay, so there's instances when it, you know, so it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, when you were saying we should keep our nose out of the business. No, that's not. We can't say
We
that.
don't want someone polluting our neighborhood, okay? I don't want people taking chemical waste and pouring it out in their backyard, because it won't just exist in their backyard. Okay, again, if I'm, on the other hand, if I'm doing something like growing weed, which many people would look at as the same thing as cooking meth, ignorant people, and say, you know, want to stick their nose, all I'm doing is growing flowers. I'm growing Mother Nature, and somehow people want to stick their nose into my home and say, we can't have this in our neighborhood. We have to do something.
Something that's naturally happens in nature anyway. Yeah, I think that's weird as well. I agree that they shouldn't. So we can't just say that, like, hey, stay totally out of people's business, and then in that aspect, yeah, they really do need to stay out of that business. If someone's doing something that nature already does naturally, why are you telling us we can't do that? Now, do abortions happen naturally?
If you think that women have been doing them for thousands of years, then my guess is that that would be human nature, which would make it naturally.
So give every woman a hanger and tell them that.
Well, see, that's what the point of making it legal and keeping it safe is that you can't stop it, and what you can do is you can make it a little bit safer. You know. That's all you can do.
I don't know. You know, I agree. I watch your show occasionally, and there's a lot of things that I agree with, and I don't know. I don't think I can ever, you know, I'm probably going to piss off some of your viewers, but I don't think, you know, abortion for me is the right thing, and it's going to be a touchy subject, but that goes back to the, hey, we can be concerned with what people are doing on their house, and sometimes it's not okay. Who's to decide whether it's okay or not? Decide what they do in their house.
Again, if it's affecting your house and your neighborhood, then everyone should decide. Okay, everyone that's concerned should be able to express their concern. Like if they're dumping fucking chemical waste in their backyard or some other stupid thing that affects everyone. You know, if they keep catching their fucking house on fire.
Abortion could potentially affect everyone. If I hold a view that abortion is not right, but you're forcing the abortion down my throat and saying it is right and it's perfectly fine, that that could be viewed the same way, correct?
Well, I think that's wrong. I don't think that I'm forcing anything down your throat. You're the one forcing something on me by imposing laws.
I didn't force the meth in your yard. I only forced it in my yard.
Oh, well, if it's okay, again, that's a choice that if you don't have the choice in the first place, then you're not making that choice. This is what being free is about. That's why I titled the title this way, freedom of choice. All freedoms are about freedom of choice, and when they take away, and everybody thinks this country is so free, but the truth is that every single one of these freedoms we fought for, especially women, especially minorities. And that's how you can see it. Otherwise, they'd be like protecting freedom, understanding that choice means freedom and that this doesn't affect anybody else's home. And you know what? There is one way that I can see this affecting someone's home, okay? And I actually would care not to share it with you, but I think I should. And that's that in the way that you might actually somehow produce an Albert Einstein, the next Albert Einstein, and that person might actually change the world in some way. That being said, what are the odds of that, and what are the odds of you producing an unwanted child who is never actually going to get a proper education? From what I understand, Einstein didn't either. It's look, I think that, again, it's this personal thing. You're talking about my neighbor, and nobody's forcing you to have an abortion. What's happening is people are forcing others not to have an abortion, and it's the same as forcing someone to have an abortion. And you wouldn't want that, and the other people wouldn't want it the other way.
I don't want anybody forcing me or telling me that, murder is illegal. I feel like I'm being forced to not murder people. I think that's just terrible, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, then you should go out and murder all the people that you want and see how well that works out for you.
Right, it's the freedom of choice, so...
That's what I keep talking about. See, the thing is, yes, murder. I'm encouraging you to go out and murder all the people that you want. Okay?
It doesn't make it right.
What do you mean?
Even if you're encouraging me and I have that freedom to do so.
But you don't have that freedom, and you know why you don't have that freedom? Because it affects a bunch of other people. Okay? And abortion doesn't do that. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect your neighborhood. It just is this incredibly personable, horrible decision that someone has to make. And they pick this way or that way.
I don't know. It affects the society, and if there's two opposing sides, it's going to affect...
Okay, how is it that it affects the society?
It's going to affect them because if you have a society that's for it and a society against it, it's going to affect somehow, some way.
Because it's violent against children and such and such?
That will be one view. And
okay.
The other view, it's going to affect the people that are pro-abortion, because you got people telling them, hey, that abortion is totally wrong. It's going to affect those people. So, it actually does affect them to a degree. That's why we're having this discussion. It's obviously affected. It's made it all the way to a bill, or they're proposing a bill. So it's obviously affecting people in a way. And you have two sides.
The whole political thing is all about division. So they put these things up that divide people, and then, divide and conquer. That being said, I think that it's honestly more immoral to put your nose into someone else's business that has nothing to do with you than to actually have an abortion. Okay? Again, this is something that's been happening for thousands and thousands of years. You're not going to stop it. All you're going to do is make it way, way, way more dangerous.
You could say the same thing about murder.
What are you talking?
Murder has been happening. If you follow the Bible, Cain and Abel, or whoever slew the first person, that's been happening just about as long as abortion, probably if not longer. But you know, you're never going to be able to stop it. So
Okay, you don't even know that someone had an abortion. Okay, you know when your neighbor is murdering people. Okay, so you don't know if somebody had an abortion because it's none of your fucking business, right? That's why you don't know.
All right, and then however many bodies I've collected up, that you just don't know. So don't tell me, or people shouldn't tell me that murder is illegal.
I didn't tell you that.
Hey, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm raising up certain topics and seeing your viewpoints. So you know, I have my certain views and things,
And you're absolutely entitled to them.
I do think that, you know, that through this conversation that, you know, it's not black or white, man. I think you're choosing what is right, what is
No,
can be in people's
you're
business,
choosing.
and other things that it can't be in people's business.
You're
it's
choosing.
not black or white.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because it's not me choosing to be in other business. It's you choosing to make right. See, I want you to do what you want. The thing is,
you told me specifically that, you know, certain things in people's houses.
Look,
you should be able to make a part of your business.
if you want to go protest it, go protest it. Don't make laws that say you're a criminal for doing this thing. It's like, you can't stop it, dude. You're just making it more difficult. It doesn't affect you. You don't even know when a woman does it. And for some reason, people want to pass this judgment. And that's what I see happening all over, is that they want to pass judgment on people. And the thing is I'm pretty sure that whatever deity you pray to would think that that's probably a little above your pay grade. So I would consider that, you know, deeply.
Wow. You know, it was a good conversation, and, you know, I guess we can just, you know, agree and in so many ways disagree. So that's just the way it's going to be. But man,
that's the best way for it to be, is that we can agree and disagree and such, you know, because I'm not, you don't want people that are zombies. You want people that have opinions, and you want to discuss it with people, you know. And I think it's important to especially listen to people who have opposing opinions, because otherwise, again, you're just kind of zombifying yourself, where you only have one, you know, dialogue that you're hearing, and that's all you know exists. So I really appreciate your phone call, and I'm glad that you took the time to share with us.
Hey, it was fun. So hey, you have a good one, and I'll be watching you again. So you have a good one.
All right, stay cool.
Okay, bye.
And again, he was asking about murdering people, you know, and murdering people affects your neighbors. If you're murdering your neighbors, that affects your neighbors. If you have an abortion, and, you know, your neighbor probably will never even know that happened. So how is it somehow that, you know, I'm not saying go protest, just don't make laws against it. Don't make laws against these things that are natural. Again, he's like, are you trying to say that abortion is natural? What I'm saying is that for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, women have been giving themselves abortions, having abortions. And my point being that it must be somewhat part of human nature for women to do that. And if it's human nature, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it's in women nature. If it's human nature, then yeah, it's natural. This is something that has occurred over and over and over and over and over again. So, and if you want to go back to the murder thing, it probably is nature too, as far as I can tell. Look at how people are murdering each other. And he was talking about the violence, how it adds violence to the community. Okay, and I want to mention this too. Actually, I brought up the violence thing because he was talking about how it's a detriment because of all these different things, but I don't see how it affects your home. You're not even going to know the person did it. That being said, I brought up that it adds this violence to the community because I wanted to talk about the violence. If you care about children so much, I read recently that, or maybe I heard someone say it. Maybe it was, I think it was a news story, that someone was saying that children by the time they're 10 years old have witnessed over 17,000 deaths, okay? And the point being is that when they watch movies, when they watch TV, when they play their video games, they've seen these realistic deaths over and over and over again. And no one, I mean, almost nobody ever talks about the violence that adds to the community, what that must be doing to the children. Hello, caller.
Hello, is this Fox News?
Yes.
Okay. Mox News, this is Dr. Whisper from the chat.
It is. I didn't see Dr. Whisper in the chat. Is Dr. Whisper in the chat? This is not Dr. Whisper, because Dr. Whisper is not in the chat. You're a fucking liar. Impersonator.
Okay. I changed my name to be incognito.
Again?
Okay, so,
Again with the changing of the names? When is this shit gonna end?
One of these days, this name change is gonna end. But I'm just going to give a shout out to everybody in the chat except Iowa Blackbird. And I hope everybody is having a great night. Mox, how are you doing tonight?
I'm so chill, dude.
That's pretty cool. Well, we're not going to be chill for very much longer, I have a feeling. Because you want to bring up this abortion issue. And I actually kind of have an idea of what I think about it. And honestly, I'm not sitting over here saying that there's, I don't even care if there's fucking abortion clinics. Honestly, we fucking should have, encouraged this shit years ago, honestly.
Right?
Half the fucking, half the chat wouldn't even be there. But maybe 90% of it wouldn't be. That would be a good thing too. And also, majority of these idiots that are causing all these fucking issues throughout their fucking country. Maybe we wouldn't be having to deal with this shit if they would just fucking aborted their goddamn idiot child years ago. They made a huge mistake.
China's got the right idea.
But as an adult man, and I've sat there and thought about it, I don't think that it's a good idea to just encourage abortions and say that, oh yeah, just go ahead and get abortions, no big deal. Well, it actually is kind of a big deal because they don't really know what they're getting into until it's all over with. And so I think trying to teach anti-abortion methods of try to do these things so you don't ever have to fucking consider having an abortion. How about this for an example? You see Johnny over there, you kind of like Johnny. You probably might want to bang Johnny. Or Johnny sees Kim and is like, you know what, I kind of want to bang Kim. And then, you know what, honestly, your fucking little head is thinking and not the big head is thinking. And really, in reality...
My little head is always thinking.
Right. And
has an IQ of 69.
So basically, you should just teach, in a sense, don't fucking ever put yourself in a position to fucking get pregnant by loser fucking Johnny and then have to put yourself in a position to fucking have an abortion. In a sense that people just act like it's no big deal. You know what? If I just get pregnant, I'll just have an abortion.
Look, I don't think that people act like it's no big deal. I've said over and over again tonight, I've said over and over again tonight, the hardest decision they're ever going to make. And I'm pretty sure every single time a woman has an abortion, there's a big fucking hole in her that is broken and may never repair.
No.
Yes.
There is a lot of these people that are out there with signs in the street doing all these protests and stuff like that. Just tons of them. They're all there. There's males there as well. They're all like, I am just sticking up for women's rights, and I actually really care about this issue.
And that guy got laid. And that guy got laid twice today. So you know.
Literally, that is the only reason why the fucking dude is doing it in the first place. And
Well, it seems like a pretty goddamn good reason, doesn't it?
That is pathetic. And then what does he do? It is
fucking brilliant, man.
Absolutely. No, it is not. It's beyond fucking cringe. And so what I'm saying is, what if he got one of them pregnant, and then they're like, well, we were just at the we were at just the abortion rally, and just a couple of days ago, and now we have a real good reason to show everyone that abortion is cool. And it's my body, my choice. They make songs about it. They fucking have stories.
Yeah, I remember that. Abortion is cool. Everybody get one now. I remember that song.
Especially on TikTok and stuff like that. People are like, if you don't think that abortion is fucking cool and something that you should do and consider, because this goddamn creature growing inside of you isn't even a human being yet. You make the decision up until the day that you shit it out. That is the day that it becomes human. But until then, it is just a fucking fetus creature. Shit.
Just another fatty lump. Just another fatty lump.
Another fat fucking just goddamn grotesque fucking alien fucking thing. And it's disgusting. You know, there's nothing like there's nothing cool about it, I guess, or something. I don't know. I just think it's some woman came up and was like, dude, Dr. Westbrook, you literally laid it down so good last night and the other day.
I bet that's not something you hear a whole lot, huh?
And it was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant. I would just be like, well, that's awesome. That's great. What do you want to do? You know, I gotta go through your process. There's no way I would ever say, okay, honey, we probably should sit down here and actually figure out whether or not we want to go through with this, because we actually knew all the fucking information in the first place about,
You sound angry. You sound angry.
You were supposed to pull out, but you didn't, and you said, fucking keep it in me, baby.
That's why I recommend sodomy.
And, literally, you don't fucking... It shouldn't be... In my opinion, as a man, I would never look at it like, oh, maybe we should consider abortion real quick, because we were fucking too fucking stupid to actually consider somebody else's life in this world.
I'm sure that's what you consider every time you put that knob up someone's cooch. That's the very first thing that you consider, right?
That people will just never admit they're fucking stupid.
I think that's true.
Well, I would. I'd be like, I probably shouldn't have done this, but here we go. I wouldn't encourage it. If that's the fucking, as a person, I would just, as a man, I would be like, I wouldn't have fucking banged you if I knew that because banging And also, there's a fucking huge chance that you might get this woman pregnant. That's what it does. If I wouldn't fucking bang you if I didn't know that this could happen. And I would never fucking encourage it. Or if she even asked me, I'd be like, no, I don't. It's your decision, of course. It's your decision. But as I'm happy. I hope that you're happy. That is the type of shit a man should fucking do. But men are like you and the fucking crow, and they're like, I support women's rights. And I think that this is not a life, and that life is blah, 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 and you know what, it's their body, their choice. You guys are over there at the fucking abortion protest, fucking let women slaughter their babies. Let them. We don't care. Fuck you.
I'm sorry. Let me be a little more clear. I don't care. Okay?
You would be there, though.
It's none of my business. It's none of my business.
You'd be there.
I didn't say that. I said it's a very good idea. Okay? That doesn't necessarily mean I would act on it.
I think as a man, you wouldn't say it's a good idea. I think that here's the deal. You can be pro-life or pro-choice. Okay, and as a man, I just think, you know...
I'm pro-freedom. I'm pro-freedom. If you want to be pro-life, be pro-life. If you want to be pro-freedom, you know... But pro-life is not pro-freedom, so you know.
Bullshit.
No, it is
not.
not.
What I'm fucking saying is, as a fucking man and free in this world, I would fucking say... You know, it's kind of fucking cringy and fucking kind of weird of me to fucking support, like, that type of deal as a man. I just don't think I'm pro-life. I'm like, yeah.
And I just said that I support your right to be pro-life. I just said that.
And then, you know what? A botched abortion, oh my God. I've actually...
You've actually experienced that?
I've seen it. And I've seen a girl that survived, and she was so grateful to be alive. You know, it's like things like that you guys that are so fucking for this deal don't ever look into. And then like the women that actually had to deal with the horrible pain that it caused, plus the fucking mental pain after because they didn't realize it, they didn't have no idea, they were all just encouraged that it's all just okay.
I just got done saying it's the hardest decision that they're ever going to make. So I didn't encourage anybody. I encourage freedom. Okay? If that's the decision that you need to make, I don't want to get in your way of making that. I don't have anything to do with it.
You're doing exactly what I'm saying they're doing. You're just encouraging.
Not encouraging anything. Freedom, that's right.
They are not
standing up for freedom.
They are not telling them what could happen afterwards. They're not showing examples of, you know, how you could really feel. They're actually encouraging it, saying it's a good thing. It's freedom. Yay!
Okay, well, look, I'm encouraging freedom. I'm not encouraging freedom. I'm fighting for freedom. It has nothing to do with me. Okay? And if they don't know the consequences, then that again has nothing to do with me. It's not my fault that they didn't take a minute to understand what's happening.
Yes, it is, because all you can talk about is it's freedom. We're at the protest, we got our cool signs, and we're screaming at the anti-protesters across the street. You know, like...
No, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well...
And you know what? I'm not one of these motherfuckers that's out here that's gonna agree to disagree. No, I'm just saying flat out fucking tell y'all motherfuckers you're wrong.
Yeah, and good. You're entitled to your opinion.
You're goddamn right. It's called freedom.
Right, but you don't feel the other way, do you?
You should feel maybe ashamed of yourself a little bit.
See, because I'm not entitled to my opinion. I'm not entitled. You're entitled to yours, but I'm not entitled to mine, right?
No, I have to listen to your fucking opinion all the goddamn time.
You don't have to do anything. That's the entire point. What I do affects you zero. So why is it you have to stick your nose into what I do if you don't like it?
Well, I'm here for the show, and also I'm here to talk to the wonderful, amazing people in the chat. You know, like, you know, all of them, everyone. I'm not going to say any names because you got like really fucking cool people there, like Patrick. He's pretty cool. Fucking Playground Sound. He's a fucking douchebag and a half. Fucking hate that guy. Fucking Loco. He's an idiot. Shit, this ain't working out. Like, I thought it was all cool people, but I just keep fucking bringing up a bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah, like that's something new.
Oh, and Iowa Blackburn, that fucking guy. Love that guy. Just fucking love that guy to fucking death. That fucking guy is probably one of the smartest fucking guys I've ever fucking listened to speak in a conversation here on Earth, ever. Literally. How about you? Would you agree?
I'm not here to judge you on this
Shut
big this big judging thing.
All the time.
Judge. I do not. I said you're entitled to your opinion.
You are such a judgmentalist motherfucker. It's unbelievable. You fucking be judging all kinds of shit like all fucking day.
Yeah.
You know it.
All day I'm looking at birds and working in the garden and talking to bunnies. Talking to bunnies and squirrels.
I bet you fucking anything that if I fucking talked about my squirrels over here at my fucking house, you'd fucking judge me and be like, well, you don't have the squirrels like we do over here in fucking Seattle. If I fucking...
And you probably don't.
Marijuana, yeah, see? And if I fucking grew some marijuana, you would probably fucking say, your fucking buds are fucking gangly. That's what you would say. You'd be like, your fucking buds are gangly. You don't even know what you're doing. You don't even fucking know the goddamn process. Actually, you fucking put a seed into dirt and fucking actually do it properly. You fucking stupid idiot.
I probably never know that you were growing anything unless you told me, and then I'd never see the videos or the pictures. But I would be going, right on, because if more people were growing weed in the world, it would be a better world. If anybody doesn't believe that, then you don't really care.
Oh, really? If I don't believe that we should grow more weed,
people should grow more weed. The more people that are growing weed, the better off the entire human race would be.
And if I don't agree with that, I should just fucking be killed or something?
No, you brought up growing weed, dude. You should, if you don't agree with it, then go out and protest on the Capitol steps. But leave me out of it. I'm not hurting anybody by growing weed, am I?
You're hurting everyone in the chat by your stupid fucking bong hits where you blow fucking no smoke into the camera. It's fucking ridiculous.
Okay, well...
You should stop that.
You should stop judging people. I don't know what's with you in the judgment shit, dude. But I would think you would have something remotely better to do.
I don't have that. I really don't have nothing. What, do you have anything else better to do?
I do. I keep trying to get out of here, and you fucking call. I'm like, I'm going to go fucking play in the garden. I had another seed pop up. I got to do some training on the plants. I've never done it before.
Judging me. Now you're judging me for calling.
I didn't.
Live calling show.
I didn't. That's not true.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I appreciate you calling.
I kind of feel that way.
You said, what, you got something better to do? And I said, yes. And somehow that's judging you.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm actually holding you up. I'm holding everybody up.
I didn't say anything like that. I just said, Yeah. I answered your question.
I'm holding up all the fucking.
I answered your
people
question.
in the chat for. I swear to God, those mods, they are probably getting tired over there modding so hardcore right now, making sure nobody says the fucking N-word or the M-word in the chat.
Burrito.
So,
Burrito does sound pretty good.
You're gonna eat a burrito?
I love burritos.
You goddamn burrito eating bitch! I swear.
Got
to God.
that right.
All right. Well, what's the next topic? What's tomorrow's show gonna be about?
About why war profiteers must go to prison now. All of them.
Really?
Does that sound good?
So if,
Come on,
kind of boring.
You can judge better than that. You can be more judgmental.
It's kind of fucking stupid. It's like something that's never gonna happen. So like, why would you fucking say it?
Because it needs to be a discussion that needs to be had over and over and over again. Most people don't understand that war profiteers must go to prison immediately, nor understand the reason why. Because they make everyone's children unsafe, including the unborn.
I don't fucking care.
Gotcha.
I don't care, okay? I don't even care. You know what the fucking real news that's going on right now? Apparently, fucking Amber Heard fucking took a fucking huge turd shit in Johnny Depp's bed.
This is what I'm talking about. It's none of my business.
Now,
that's none of my business.
A fucking show.
Well,
that is a fucking show right there, bro.
The show is Johnny Depp then cannonballing into the turd and then rolling around in the bed.
God.
That's the show right there.
Yeah, dude, right. And that's the thumbnail. Fucking hey, dude. So yeah, fucking cancel the show. We got a new show tomorrow. Fucking sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking brilliant.
Yeah, you are. You're fucking amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now say something nice about me.
You're not eating enough marijuana.
Oh, thank you.
That's just showing concern for you, bro.
I understand. I totally.
And by the way, the other night I was like, "Have you heard from?" I was the other night. I was like, "Have you heard from Whisper? Is he okay?" After the tornado, okay, and then
did you see the tornado?
I saw the tornado. It's fucking nasty.
Dude, like if you go look it up right now, there's so much more footage. And it's probably the best footage of a tornado ever recorded. All the different angles is fucking unbelievable. I can't even fucking believe it. Yeah, I'm probably like, I don't know, 5 miles away from there. 10, I don't know.
I'm just saying, I was like, is he okay? Have you heard from him? So you know, dickwad.
Yeah, well, thank you. I really feel and can sense the absolute sincerity in your voice. So thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, I better let you go to fucking eating a bunch of fucking burritos and shit.
And you know what else? I got lemon cake. I got lemon cake and ice cream. Lemon cake. I love lemon cake. Oh my god.
Okay. All right. This is getting fucking weird. Nobody gives a shit. You have fucking stupid ass lemon fucking cake.
And you know why no one gives a fuck? Is because it doesn't affect them in any way. Just like someone having an abortion doesn't affect you in any way.
Maybe they're fucking jealous that they'd like to have some fucking lemon cake, but you won't ever shut the fuck up about lemon cake.
Well, that's kind of the point. What's the matter? Did I make you jealous? Why are you always so jealous, dude? You can have lemon cake
other
if you
people. I'm not talking about me. I don't give a fuck. Lemon cake's for fucking idiots.
Yeah, obviously you haven't had lemon cake lately.
No. Fucking, it looks like it's so sponges.
So
That's what it looks like.
It looks like empty calories full of sugar. That's what it looks like.
It literally looks like this, bro.
Okay.
And smells like it.
Well, you should see what it looks like with a big gob of fucking vanilla ice cream on it.
that just looks like a giant fucking piss pimple getting ready to pop, and it's not fucking healthy.
Actually, it's cum splattered piss is what it looks like.
Oh, I gotta go. I gotta go. All right.
Now my mouth is watering. Fuck. He went. I had nothing to do with it. Slightly. Anyways, and I did. I asked Craig immediately. I was like, hey, have you heard from Whisper? Because I actually care about the guy. And I was worried that he was living outside. That's no way to solve, that is no way to survive a tornado. All right, so, and I bet there is some incredible footage of it because everybody has these amazing 4K phones on their, video cameras on their phone. That makes sense. And it's another lovely day in the Ukraine, in case anybody's wondering. I just thought that it was nice to share that with you one more time. And tomorrow night is about war profiteering and why all war profiteers must go to prison now. So we'll have hopefully a nice big discussion on that tomorrow, which means we do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. So that means we'll be back tomorrow, same Mox time, same Mox channel. And until then, remember that, you don't want someone coming into your home and telling you what you can and can't do. Because that's fucked up. And when you go into somebody else's home and tell them what they can and can't do, that just pushes it a direction of coming back towards you. As I say, for each and every action there is a equal and opposite reaction, just like a million innocent dead Iraqis. That reaction will be coming soon, which is another reason why we must eliminate the war profiteers. I'll see you tomorrow, I hope.
I'm going to show you my invisible mask.
Very serious.
This is my invisible mask for Stacey Abrams. Ready? I'm going to put it on. It's on. It's great. All right, Carol. Last word here. Okay, I'm going to show you my invisible mask.
Very serious.
This is my invisible mask for Stacey Abrams. Ready? I'm going to put it on. It's on. It's great. All right, Carol. Last word here.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level, from a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber. Do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. MoxNews.com.
I mean, this coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. I wish the coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united.